So welcome to the first video featuring my next build. This will introduce the model to you that I'm planning to build, and also some of the challenges that I face in prepping to construct. So I've chosen to make an Oldsmobile curved dash from about 1904. Part of the reason is I was looking for model kits of that vintage that I could use as a basis for doing the design. And indeed, in America, I managed to find this model of an Oldsmobile curved dash. It's a 16 scale, and I've taken many measurements from the parts in this, and I've used those to then make a 1/10 scale set of drawings. This is actually a 16 scale kit. And then I've also found a couple of interesting drawings of the car, which allow me to do a comparison and finalise the dimensions that I'm actually going to build to. So it may not be 100% accurate, but it will be very close with 3 reference points to make decisions from. And in fact, I'm planning to make 2 models. So this is the more common model, the curved dash. You see lots of them around. But there was a van version of this, a small delivery van, and I found some details of that, and I'm planning to build that as well. So let's look into the resources that I'm using to build this model. So first off is the kit. So this is a kit by an organisation called American Classics. It's probably from around the 1950s or 60s. I don't believe the company exists anymore. And I managed to locate it online and purchase it. And as you can see, what I've done is I've basically taken all the parts and taken them off the sprues where I can in order to measure them. So here's a good example. Here's a wheel. I've used this wheel to do a scale model at 16th, and then I've blown it up to 10 scale, which is the intended scale of the kit. So I will be using the kit quite extensively. In fact, I've already done quite a number of drawings, but that's the kit which I'm using as the basis of the design. I just realised, looking at this kit again, it's not made by American Classic. It is an American Classic, and of course it's made by our good old friends Aurora, and not American Classic as I previously stated. So there is an Aurora kit. So in addition to the kit, I found 2 profiles of the vehicle. One is it facing to the right, another facing to the left. They're not exactly the same. As you can see, one's got the spoke wheels on, one has the wooden spoke wheels on it. But overall, it's allowed me to do some measurements and confirm, you know, the accuracy or not of the kit. You can see actually immediately on this, the flywheel, which is this component here, is bigger on this model than it is on this model, and that's confirmed by measurements. So I will be using these in addition to the kit, and as you can see, I've already been, this is actually a CAD drawing, which I've got to scale of a 10th, and I've been putting dimensional lines on it to work out what to do. There is another one. So here's an example of the CAD drawing that I've done based on the drawings, or these drawings in particular. I've also found this drawing, which is less detailed, but again, a good drawing for checking measurements and looking at the overall view of the vehicle. The other thing I've been doing is I've been looking at various components. So there are 2 engine designs that I've come across so far. I'm actually choosing to build this design just to avoid all of this. I've been printing this out of plastic and then detailing it as I've done on previous models. There's another drawing of a disassembled engine. There's another engine. So I've got quite a few engine designs to take measurements off and get a really interesting view on how the engine actually is fitted and sits in the machine. Just going to go back a little bit. If I just take these off from out of the folder, You can see there's another drawing that I've been doing some dimensioning on, and in fact, based on from these drawings, I've designed the wheels. I've designed the engine body. So there are two designs of the engine body, and I'm almost at the point of finishing the engine design in 3D so that I can then print it. So that's progress to date. I will post videos as and when updates are available. Thank you for watching, and watch this space. So finally, for completeness, here are the two vehicles that I'm planning to build. On the left you've got the light delivery wagon, and on the right you've got the regular runabout. You could buy this in 1904 for about $850, and this was $675. But on these drawings there are some interesting dimensions, which and these are original manufacturer's dimensions, which will help me to get the overall dimensioning of my two vehicles correct. So there we are, the two vehicles that I'm planning to build over the next, optimistically, 18 months.